Have you ever wanted to get a website designer's opinion on your website before you invest in getting your website redesigned? Or perhaps you just need some extra tips so that you can change the website on your own? In today's video, I'm going to show you behind the scenes of one of my website audits. This one is for a nature photographer. Things that I discuss in this video are user experience, also increasing conversion rates so that people will come to your website and actually purchase from you. Because remember, our website is not a static brochure. We want it to be a marketing machine for us. So there are a lot of strategies to that. Okay, let's get started.
Number one here. I see that you have titled this nature photography. I'm going to challenge that a little bit just to say, what exactly about nature photography are we talking about? Is this a personal gallery of someone's personal photos, or are you a shop and you're selling prints? I know that you do have prints, so I would recommend that you be really specific here and not just leave nature photography, but add prints as well. This is also going to help your SEO because when people are typing into Google a print or a poster, they're going to use those specific words. So we want to add nature photography prints. Also, the biggest headline that you have, which is usually your H1, we use that for your keywords, that nature photography prints as the headline. Your name is not as important as letting people know what it is that they've landed on and where they've landed. We do have your name here, so it is repetitious to have them in both places and taking up the most space. The photo that you have here, I do love this photo. However, I would move this to the about page or the contact page because it's more of a personal photo of you and what you are trying to tell your clients or the ideal customer that's landing on your website is photos that they want to put on their wall or purchase from you. So I would use this area to feature your best-selling prints so that people know that this is something they would put on their wall. They're not going to put this photo on their wall, so really this is not giving them the idea of what they can get when they shop. Also, this header section, I see that you've stacked things from text and then a photo. Typically, for a little more updated version of a website, you would use a photo as a background and put text over top of it. I'll show you an example of one of your competitors that I found by searching up nature photography prints. As you can see, the photo spans the full width of the browser with text that overlaps and a very strong call to action, shop now button. Makes it very clear what you want people to do immediately when you land on their website. So this is a great way to capture people's attention and know exactly what they're getting. I also have attached a screenshot from Squarespace. Inside of Squarespace, when you create a new section, you can also select from their pre-designed sections. Under intro, this is the spot that would be the header. So you can see here's one right here that has a photo in the background with text over top. You could also do a little bit of overlapping. I do talk about layering in one of my other YouTube videos. This is also a great one. This is also a great one. And if you'd want to stack some photos and be a little more artistic, you can do that as well. Okay, we're going to scroll down a little bit. And I see your call to action button here says view photos. So this is what I was talking about with that screenshot. Let's be more direct with our call to action and say prints for sale or shop prints. If we scroll down, we see you have featured favorites here. However, when you try to click on these, they don't click anywhere. I recommend having your links to your shop clickable on your homepage. So we don't want to make people scroll or look or try to find things. We want to make things as easy as possible. So having these directly linked to the actual product is what I recommend here. One of the other things that I would recommend is to show your prints in a real life situation, like on someone's wall. We call these mock-ups, and I have screenshots of another photographer who has done a really good job of showing what their print would look like in a house. And let's see the other one. Here's another one. There's lots of places where you can just purchase these mockups and paste your photo in them. Creativemarket.com is one that I really like. But yeah, you just download a photo and then paste your photo so people can really get to see what it's actually going to look like in real life. I noticed you have a couple quotes on your homepage. Although they're really nice and pretty quotes, let's create some text here that is really more intentional and really communicates to the client what they're getting. So I would say this quote up at the top, remember this area up here is really important. So for this section up at the top, we would tell them what you're offering and how your product helps them. So an example would be nature photography prints that take you on a vacation to the world's most beautiful places. So something that relates to your prints and how it's going to impact your customer. And if you're going to add another quote, I would definitely recommend a quote from an actual customer. If you can, even if it's someone that's a friend or something, start collecting testimonials and quotes from your customers of how much they love your prints. Something that I saw on the product page but not on the home page, maybe adding a little bit more information about the prints and the quality of them. Just a little bit more information on that would help. There is a page on Daniel Forrester's website where he again has a mock-up, but then he also goes into a lot of detail about the metal prints, even has a photo that describes or actually shows you the thickness, the sheen that's on it, gives a lot of information, how to hang them, another mock-up there, then another section about canvas wraps, how it looks, and hanging information. So having a little more detail about the quality of the prints, what they're getting, so people know exactly what they're getting would be really helpful. Also notice he's got his 5-star customer reviews on here. If you click that, you can read all his customer reviews. Looks like he's on Etsy. So these are pulling from Etsy, but you could have Google reviews and a pull from Google. So yeah, verified buyers would be great. As we go down to the bottom of your page here, I would definitely add an email capture system that's getting people onto an email list. Most people, well, the first time they visit your website, are not going to purchase. And if they're even remotely interested in purchasing, we want to capture them onto an email list so that we can stay in contact with them. They don't forget about us, and you can let them know about your prints. Again, remind them and send them updates, those kind of things. So these are your warm leads and we want to capture them. So Squarespace does have an email capture system that is really affordable. I think it's only $5 a month. The other one I recommend is flowdesk.com. And I know some people just say, join my newsletter. That's not going to work. Nobody wants to join a newsletter. So offering them something of value. And for you, I would recommend a desktop photo that they could use as a background to their computer desktop. That way you're giving them a low resolution, and make sure and add a watermark of your logo on there so it is branded as you. And just give them a 72 dpi photo in the screen size. So that could be one thing that you could offer for free to get them onto an email list. Your footer section is really important, and I don't want you to lose out on this really good real estate that you have at the bottom as well. So once someone scrolls all the way to the bottom, we want to repeat a lot of the navigation because people are not likely to scroll all the way back up to the top. We want to just allow them to make that next selection as soon as they get to the bottom. So repeat the navigation, repeat your logo, repeat your tagline. Also have a button that is your call to action. So shop prints, shop nature prints right at the bottom. If you are going to have an email capture system, you'll be adding your privacy policy as well. Another few notes about the header. You could also make this a slideshow at the top that rotates through some of your best photos. I don't recommend this shadow look on text. It is an outdated look, so it doesn't look as modern, and it also makes it a little bit hard to read with brown on gray. Let's go over to your about page. For this section, I recommend moving the headshot to the left side and then putting your text next to it. That's going to break up this huge block of text that spans the full width of the website. A lot of people don't like to read big groups of text like this, so we want to break this up. And one way to break it up is to make it narrower, so less than half the page. You could also break it up with multiple photos of you and then have it stair-stepping down so it breaks up all this text and makes it just easier to scan. On the contact page, I was a little bit confused by this photo because it does say Contact Morgan Lee Photography and is a photo of a child, and all through your other photography it's all nature with no people. So this was a little bit confusing. So I recommend either a photo of you or your nature photos here just to keep with the consistency of your website. As far as the navigation goes, I was a little bit confused by these two pages, the gallery and the store. The gallery seemed to be pretty similar to the store because it's got your photos here and the different categories, and when you click on them, it opens to the store. So I'm wondering if we can take away the gallery and maybe turn that into what I showed you with this website where it talks a little bit more detail about the prints themselves or the shipping method or something else, or the FAQ page. So different information that helps the client understand what they're getting. And then the store, I would change this to not just store. Let's be more direct here and say shop prints. As you can see on Daniel's website, it says the prints or shop fine art. So I would say shop prints. And I would also make that a button. You can make a button on Squarespace to appear in the top right corner. That way it stands out from the rest of your navigation and makes it really clear where to shop. And again, for the headers on the other pages, I still recommend choosing a more modern intro or header where the photo spans the full width of the website, or it's either in a slideshow that spans the full width. Just a little bit more interesting. The stacked look is just pretty dated as far as looking a little bit modern. Just looking again at some of Daniel, your competition's page for your about section. If you have any areas that you've been featured in, even just in local Facebook groups, any awards or places you've been shown, add those to your about page as well. Another thing that I would recommend to put on your homepage is this right here, is that your prints are available in canvas, metal, and prints and posters. That makes it really clear on what they can shop. And then also adding a few more shots of your print in a mock-up on the product page themselves. As you can see on Daniel's page, he has a few different mock-ups here, and again shows detail of the metal prints, how thick they are. Just give them as much information and mocking up as you can so people really are clear on what they're getting. I do also like this where they talk about shipping. Shipping is also another important element to talk about. Even if you don't offer free shipping, just talking about how carefully you package something, who you ship to, those things are really important to customers. Also having a section that talks about your return policy, any exchanges, that is really important. And if you can add a frequently asked section, that would be great as well.
If you would like me to do an audit on your website, head over to my website at SharonMarta.com and sign up there.